Hey, what's going on, everybody? So, no, I know it's been a while since I've done a video. This one goes out to a few of you on YouTube, such as Glenn Harridge and stuff, that have asked for an update on the GT iDrive, the first gen. So I'm gonna go over it. Not much has changed. You know, still running these race face grips here. The race face half Nelsons. I like them. You know, like I've actually been trying to PNW on another bike, extra large loam levers, and those are actually pretty good. I might end up over time when I replace these going over to the PNWs. Here, this is made by Kustom Kaps. This is you can go to I think they're called Kustom Ventures now, kustomventures.com, and I'll put a link for a lot of stuff and the spec on the description, and you know, in the video. Here, had this custom made. They do custom prints. They even do AI. You've probably seen, I think, some of the bike check videos where I do let's see, you know, like I have the custom top caps. This isn't one of them though, but yeah, Custom Caps or Kustom Ventures makes different types of bar end plugs for road bikes, mountain bikes, top caps for your headset, stuff like that. It's pretty cool. So you can check them out. Here, I'm running this race face handlebar. It's 720 millimeters wide. This is a 31.8 millimeter handlebar, and it's to a real short 31.8 race face stem. This is a non-tapered head tube, as you can see here. And then here I was rocking a you know, like a Suntour 29er fork just to see how it would do. And then and I ended up selling that fork because somebody was looking. It was in the market for 29er fork that was a straight 1 1/8 and also had quick release. So I had a spare one of these. This is an RST Omega fork. It's okay, like it's a budget. This is a super heavy ass fork. It's like it's north of 5 pounds. Like I think it's 5.5 actually. And you feel it on this bike for sure. And just to try it out, I think, you know, I'll probably end up finding just a better fork, like a Manitou old school air fork, or the Marcor. We'll see. You know, like I'm not investing too much in the retro bikes anymore, just because I'm getting new stuff in. And then here, this is running, you know, of course, my favorite brakes in the world, Magura. So these are Magura MT5s in a 180 rotor configuration, or I mean 160 rotor configuration. So on a 6 bolt for the hub. You know, this is a specialized wheel on TT Swiss 420 SL rims, both 32 spoke, both quick release here. And you know, oh, I should say, on this fork you do get, if anybody's looking for an RST Omega, you do get the preload knob. Still works, and I will give it props that the lockout does too. You know, that's probably the impressive part. When it locks out, it locks out. And here there's no rebound adjust or anything, so you don't get that. And back here, you know, surprisingly, if anybody knows anything about the GTXCRs or iDrives or anything like that, many times this part cracks. Fortunately, you know, with as much riding as I've done, it hasn't. And back in this area, it'll crack like somewhere, typically most infamously in this region here of the frame. So like, impressed that it's held up. Like I think the pivots are probably going to give out faster than that. And speaking of which, speaking of pivots, if anybody's looking for a full service maintenance video on the first gen iDrives and the XCR bikes, I'm going to put a link to this one guy. I think I forget what his is, like Simple Design or something. He does a full thorough way of maintaining, going through the maintenance procedure for the GT iDrive and XCR bikes, for the first gen ones like this one. It is awesome. I mean, obviously he loves the bike a lot. I think when I'm probably about to retire this frame, you know, once things really, it makes it, you know, the frame starts becoming exceptionally unrideable. And then if anybody wanted to buy it just cause or for parts, you know, just let me know. Speaking of which, I do have a surplus of GT, RTS, and classic LTS non-trunnion parts, so feel free to message me even in the comments, and you know, if you're looking for parts, because they're not going to be in the greatest shape, but if it's that versus nothing, you know, and just to keep yours going, you know, feel free to hit me up. I got plenty of RTS parts. So back to the iDrive bike. This runs a basic 32 tooth up front race face, crankset in a 175 with race face, Chester pedals, and this is a 1x10. I still have to use this because at times this little chain guide, this is a non-clutch, so if it gets rough enough, without this, it'll pop, the chain will come off and it'll get tangled up in, you know, between the chain ring and the bottom bracket shell, and it's a pain in the ass. So to mitigate that, I don't even know who makes this anymore, but anyway, I had to run it backwards. If you run it forward, you can't run this forward the proper way, because the swing arm, when it articulates, it will keep hitting this part, so I had to flip it. Obviously it was meant for a front derailleur because it got the low post, but anyway, this runs a Fox float shock. I've had this, it's not the original shock, and it has, you know, just a basic 3 adjust, so trail, uphill, descending, and it's a pretty good rear shock. I forget what the stroke value is on this, but I think this is a 6.5 or whatever, on I think roughly about I forget, 2.5 inches of travel, so up here, or 2.5, something like that. Don't mind me, I ended up getting my flu shot, and then what sucks is every time I get sick, I hate having to get flu shots, and as a healthcare professional, I got to get my COVID one, and I thought not getting what I call a twofer both at the same time would kind of mitigate that, but it's still crappy, so I'm not looking forward to getting them. Even though it is possible to do a declination, it will affect the duties of the job, so I just hate getting torn up every single time. Like, I could go into it, but that's that. That's why I'm kind of a bit off today. Just not feeling good. And not writing. And so, but I do have a ride video I filmed previously, so I'm just combining both. Anyway, this is a PNW dropper post. It's cool. You're probably wondering, does this shock hit this? Not at all. When this articulates, the tire goes in this direction, but the shock actually remains pretty still. So as this compresses, it's just a swing arm, and this never hits at all. Unless you remove the shock, then of course this is gonna just slam into the back of it, but you know, you're not riding it without a shock. Back to the drivetrain. This is a Shimano Deore setup, and it's a 1x10 system. This is a 42. It's an 1142 combination, because one thing you got to do with these is if you try running a 46, it will be a real pain. And it's because if you put an extender here, this is a stock one, so if you add in a rear derailleur hanger extender to this already, what happens is this drops, and then you know, it lowers. I don't know if you can see how much ground clearance I have, but it'll bring it down to here, and you will snag a lot of stuff, and you're bound to rip that out. Hasn't happened on this bike, but it, you know, because you have to accommodate the 46. 42 is a safer way, plus it's less finicky jumping around. But anyway, Sunrace makes this cassette. You can usually get it for about, I think, I forget COVID prices, probably like $100, but it's ballpark under about 40-50 bucks probably, I would imagine. So, and then I'm running Victorum MCALS in a 26 by 2.1 front and rear with tubes. You know, I'm not going to do tubeless on this. I don't have any desire, because I got way too many bikes, and having to refresh these would suck. For the Magura brake setup, what I've had to do is I removed the brake bosses, as you can see here, and just ran a zip tie through here, because obviously, you know, the plastic isn't gonna eat into the threads here and stuff, and it's fine. Had to run a zip tie here because if anybody knows anything about iDrives, throughout all the years GT's ever made iDrives, even the AOS, the angle optimized suspension system, it is a rat's nest. It sucks. So I've tried to tidy this up a little as best as I could. But anyway, on the seat post, this is actually it fits a 30.9. Some people say it's a 31.6, but I tried the 31.6, even expanding this out a bit, and it doesn't work. So this is using a 30.9. I know people will there was one guy who had to fit about in the comments in one of my videos. It was kind of funny. I was just like, I guess. Anyway, here with I'm doing an external with a wolf tooth loam dropper. This goes up pretty high, you know, because it's super tall. You know, people wonder why the hell I did that. You know, like, couldn't I get a shorter one? I could have, you know, to be honest. What happens is I buy a bunch of refurbished P&W dropper posts, and so because they're a pretty good price, you know, you can save about 50 to 75 bucks depending, and so, or even 100 at times. But anyway, with these P&W droppers, I get a bunch of them, and what I do is, and I get them mostly external for the old bikes, and then for the internals I don't. But anyway, you know, it's for me, because a lot of my bikes run 30.9s. It's basically plug and play. So when I retire a frame, or a frame goes out, or breaks or whatever, I just pulled a excuse me, I pulled a dropper post, and then when I acquire another bike, I can drop it in. If it's not if the seat post is larger than in diameter than the seat than the dropper seat post, what I'll do is I'll shim them. So I've been doing that recently too, so it just keeps things kind of easy for me, you know, because otherwise then I have all these odd and ends dropper seat posts, and it doesn't matter too much to me. But I just like to be able to plug and play a bunch of stuff. As you can tell, I experiment with a bunch of different things, and this WTB Silverado saddle is pretty cool. It's a 142, I think it's about roughly 142 millimeter wide one, just because that fits my sit bones, and I think it covered the wolf tooth dropper lever. This has a Cane Creek headset. If you do decide to ever update your headset and it's kind of internal, there's no cups in these, as you can tell, you know, just go to a bike shop and then find what they can fit with them. You know, these are these have the you know, 6000 series or AK cartridge bearings in them. They're not the they're not ball bearings inside like the thing that you see in like a lot of the older bikes. But if you decide to get, and this is a 1 1/8 steer or head tube diameter, so I don't know if you can run offset to run a tapered. Haven't experimented with that at all, but anyway, that's that. Of course, the performance bike Team Corsa water bottle cage still lives on, but I think that is it. I haven't done a lot of updating with this bike. You know, as I'm surprised that the dog bone bearings here, or bushings here, have lasted as long as they have. You know, there isn't really any play in this yet, you know, and I say yet because this is a bike I do like riding quite a bit. Not the best handling bike, to be honest. It'd be interesting if I put a better fork, how much I would change that, but you know, so far it's just a bike to beat around on. I like it. You know, I think jumping on it is definitely not a jump bike. I'm never comfortable on this bike doing it. But anyway, that is it. I'm gonna do the ride review or the ride along with this video. It's two videos combined into one segment. So if you have any questions or anything like that, hit me up. Stay tuned. We're gonna I'm gonna merge the video of me riding a few actually probably over a week, yeah, over a week ago, and kind of go from there. Anyway, hang tight.
But financially,
oh yeah, Hambini had said look out for you know, like FYI, chain reaction, nuke proof, and all them are.
oh yeah. So they part in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or, you know, the parent company.
Why are they all so screwed up?
I don't know. Man, this
Seems like some brands are okay, but
yeah, because it's more Euro than for us Yankees.
yeah, I mean, that's
You know, so we don't know, right?
yeah. GMBN was talking about it.
Oh yeah, because they, you know, they I think they had some sponsorship deal. But yeah, this old iDrive feels pretty good for as old as it is. I rode my LTS high pivot sensor or force out here, and that was pretty fun. I think obviously because this bike was originally a cross-country version, because they made the DHI, and that's a cool classic bike. But this one, ooh, I think I could just made this bike we'll go for a hill a little bit cooler, but budget wise, I just oh, there it is, throwing on this RST fork, which makes the front end of this bike really heavy. So it's I think that fork, so this RST Omega is about roughly north of 5 pounds. So I tried hitting some jumps on the slow trail here. It just feels weird. And I definitely didn't want to put an old school sit on here, just because I'm a heavier set rider, and those old school RockShox Sid air cartridges are not meant for too harsh of free riding a bit. So with my weight and kind of riding, it's easy to blow those out. And I don't even know, probably getting remanufactured parts or whatever costs a way bunch more. Check that out. Cool bike. And the rear shock is in trail mode. And I'll climb up this. I think I might have to stop at some point. Make sure I'm not getting debris or stuff in here. No squeaky brakes are my Maduras, but you know, the Madura MT5s. But you know, to be honest, yeah, I like to have the braking performance, even if it's noisy. Yeah, first time the iDrive is was a pretty efficient climber. I think one of the big pain in the ass aspect of owning this bike is the maintenance. It is a real pain. More so these days. It's hard to find first gen iDrive parts, or you're gonna, and for sure you're gonna have to makeshift a few. And there's a guy on YouTube who maybe 6 months ago put out a pop can, or not pop can, he put out a maintenance video for the XCR, the GT XCRs and first gen iDrive bikes, how to maintain them. It is an awesome video. Shout out to him. I think his YouTube channel was called Triple Minds, but I'll leave the comment, or I'll leave his video in the link. It is awesome. But I think when it's time for me, this bike is unrideable. You know, I'll just retire it. It's yeah, the guy obviously who made the maintenance vid loves this bike. With me, you know, as in case a lot of you don't know, I don't ride for GT anymore, so not part of their coalition or GT nuts program. But you know, now I've got my eye on other bikes and just being able to try them out. Like comment in the videos if you're interested. I don't know. I've thought about the Costco Bike Intense cells under Intense 951. Seems like as of around Halloween 2023, you can get that bike for the Intense 951 XD bike at Costco for about $2,800 if you live in Washington, or it's I already put it in the shopping cart just to see, but you know, tax brings it up to and free shipping bring it up to about, I think, $3,082 and some cents, which isn't bad. You get a VPP, virtual pivot point rear end on that bike without having to break bank to get a Santa Cruz Blur, for example, which is another cool bike. So, and I'm not sponsored by any of those companies, so that's just my honest take, or what I feel about them. Yeah, I don't know if I'd get that, or maybe just get a scalpel or whatever, because there's a guy whose bike I rode, and it was a larger, for my size, Cannondale scalpel, but rode really nice. I mean, that was quite impressive, so I liked it. So cool. But yeah, riding this old bike, pretty awesome. It's it definitely requires a little more command than, say, a Costco 951 or an Intense 951 bike from Costco, I'm sure. But hey, if you just want to ride an old school bike and as part of your bike repertoire, you totally can. Man, this RST Omega feels terrible. So, but hey, it's one of those forks I was curious about. Maybe I'll throw a cheapo Amazon $100 fork on here, see how it does. I don't know. But you know, like, tapering's a pretty twisty trail, so this little 26er bike is kind of at home in a way. With these Victorum MCALS. Having trouble shit. Oh yeah. Woo. Okay. Yeah, the cool part about this old iDrive is definitely doesn't have pedal bob. But the climbing is very good. Ooh. Descending is a bit of a different story. Sorry about the squeaky brakes, but oh, I should have gone for that. If you're into the old school or into just, you don't mind the noise, then thank you. Whew. Pretty fun. But to be fair, you know, this is a cool bike to ride, but surprisingly, out of all the retro bikes out there, if you're just looking for a fun, stupid trail bike, believe it or not, I'd kind of, and you don't have a lot of uphill, I'd give it to the gonna laugh, the Univega DS950, not with the URT, but with the single pivot platform. Really fun, kind of a get her done kind of bike. Now we're doing another climb up here, and the cassette in the back, it maxes out at a 42, and the reason is this rear cassette, this drivetrain gets really touchy with 46. Like, it's barely out of adjustment. The thing will skip wildly all over the place. Plus the derailleur, you have to get to make it work to where it doesn't drive you entirely bananas. You do have to, or it's recommended to get a rear derailleur hanger extender, and that thing's all of a sudden like dragging on the ground. Oh, I almost wiped out there. So just things to be aware of if you're looking at keeping yours going or considering getting a used one because you found it at a pawn shop for 50 bucks or whatever. This is a neat section of going up. Kind of steep, really touchy, techy. Because it's just wood, and if any of you know how roots and wood structures are in the winter or fall, just when they're wet, yeah, they can be really slick. Now we're gonna alright, bounce on this guy. Yeah. Whew. But yeah, one of my other favorite bikes to ride out here, old school bikes, is actually the LTS. So I think this is a good, feels quick bike, but the LTS, I think, in my opinion, is really fun to ride out here. The RTS sit somewhere in the back with this bike. And that's just because of overall handling. Like when I hit jumps on this bike, it's, oh man, this tree is sagging. There we go. Yeah, this bike just feels like difficult to control. Whereas the LTS, the old school LTS, just feels really easy to get a hold of her and rein it in a bit. I mean, this bike is fun, but it does require a high level of respect to ride. Oh man, yeah, that 5-pound fork, you really feel it. So a lot of you might have wondered kind of what the hell's happened. Like, if you follow me on Instagram or YouTube, I don't post it up publicly, but no, my wife got in a pretty big car accident and been, you know, helping out with that. She's recovering, so that's good. And then I got into just injured my dang Achilles. Like, it just keeps getting re-injured, and my doctors all say it's because I'm not letting it. I really just need to commit to letting it heal, which is hard. You know, I like doing a lot of stuff, bike riding on top of one, but it just requires so much force. So the other reason I'm riding retro right now, you know, the newer bikes, or even the newer hardtail bikes, are just so, including the Candale Scalpel, or I mean FSI, super fun to want to throw around, but only thing is easy for me to get carried away, and then if I get hurt or my Achilles pops, then that's really the end of my bike racing season for 2024. Ooh, hey. Oh man. So in the meantime, yeah, I've been, a lot of you noticed I put up martial arts posts or whatever, and I've been doing a lot of that. I've had to change my martial arts routine, so I'm not doing low stances so much because that hurts, or it'll definitely aggravate it. So I've been doing stuff like chain whip and like a little bit of staff, just to, and brake braking of course, but you know, on the workout side, I've been doing tons of like 2-minute planks. Oh man, side planks, and shit, a lot of push-ups and V-ups and sit-ups. So definitely a lot of core related stuff, which is cool. It helps, you know, at least trying to not gain wildly too much weight and really pay for it. So this is good. Oh man. Yeah, the one concern I got about this bike, which I might retire it sooner than later if the frame doesn't crack on the where shock mounts, is, you know, when they apply torque or pedal hard, and this bike is skipping the chain. One thing it could be are the bushings are getting worn and I'm getting flexed and it's fucking up the chain line. We're screwing it up. And that's really the case. I don't hate to say it, but yeah, I'll just somebody needs willing to buy this bike, rehab it for all the things that I can't do, you know. Yeah, I'll sell it to them. And if any of you are interested, I'm more than happy to consider selling the frame. Just you know, message me in the, you're more than happy to reach out to me. DM me on Instagram, that's a good one. Oh, sorry about these brakes. For anybody watching this with the volume up, try breaking your glasses, at which I hold no responsibility. So, man, nice. Whew. Man, it's a pretty good climbing bike. I know the GoPro does not do any of these climbs justice, but to be fair, I don't even know what percent grade this is. But yeah, pretty demanding. But we're almost at the end of the tapeworm trail proper. So, oh God, I'm feeling sorry for all of you listening to my braking. Woohoo! We made it. That is kind of it for the tapeworm proper ride on the old school or iDrive. If you have any questions, hit me up in the comment section or even on Instagram, and I will talk to you guys later. Thanks for coming along. Bye.